flagship program, that is NEP orientation and sensitization program, launched by the Ministry of Education through University Grants Commission, New Delhi, and jointly organized by the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University through its Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center and one of the top leading institution, Shri Shivaji Science College, Amravati, that is affiliated to the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University. I welcome you all. First of all, I pay my humble tribute to Vairagya Murti Shri Sant Gadge Baba, and then I will start it with this course. Friends, you know that we are since last 3 to 4 years we are implementing this national education policy. We are undergoes various concept of this national education policy through the various webinars and workshops. But these kind of programs are really important to percolate the knowledge and implementing strategies of this national education policy. The national education policy emphasizes on the creation of motivated, energized, and capable faculty. The capacity building of the teachers is one of the most and crucial important part throughout the implementation of this national education policy, and hence UGC has started this program, that is NEP orientation and sensitization program. Friends, this program in a few days we will go with the different policies and the modalities that has been introduced by the Ministry of Education as well as the University Grants Commission and its various components of this policy. And this program has been divided into 8 different themes or 8 different components that has been included: the institutional governance and the management, and then after Indian knowledge system, skill development, research and development, higher education and society, and more specifically the ICT, information and communication technology. And we will complete this program with the help of renowned experts that has been that has been invited across the country. So today we will start with the basic concept of this national education policy, that is National Credit Framework, National Skill Qualification Framework, and National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and the outcome based education. And to deliver this thing, today we have with us a very great, eminent and senior personality, Professor Anant Marathe sir. Sir, warm welcome in behalf of the MMTTC and the Shivaji Science College, Amravati, to this flagship program. Friends, thank you. Professor Marathe sir, you know everyone of us knows Professor Marathe sir very well. Professor Marathe sir is a former principal of HUPM College of Engineering and Technology, situated in the Amravati, affiliated to the Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University. Sir has more than 4 decades of experience in governing this higher education system, and he is a honorable member of our advisory council, nominated by the Honorable Chancellor and the Governor of State to the Amravati University. As far as concerned with his research experience, he has published more than 50 research papers in the reputed national as well as the international journal. There are 5 patents on his credit. Out of 2 patents has been commercialized to the technology transfer to the industries. Sir has received of the couple of awards. This is the basic thing. This is the basic and brief introduction with respect to the Professor Marathe sir. Friends, when we have started this implementation of this national education policy, you know that we have conducted a number of workshops, webinar, and residential BOS. One of the university that has been conducted the residential BOS. That time, Professor Marathe sir has played a very crucial role. You know that being a university, top leading university, we have introduced the CBCS and then after the NEP. And that time most of you has been engaged in these workshops as well as drafting the syllabus. So I will not take much more time. So we are eagerly here to waiting to hear you. I again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with your session. So please.
Thank you very much, Ankit. As usual, your nice words give me a lot of encouragement and support. So at the outset, I sincerely thank you too. Now, dear friends, very good morning. Let us pay our rich tribute to Sant Gadge Baba, under whose name our university works. Yesterday, we have celebrated National Yuva Din as well as the birth anniversary of Rashtramata Jijau Mata. So let us pay our rich tribute to Swami Vivekananda as well as Rajmata Jijau. Let us pay sincere thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor of our university, our Pro Vice Chancellor of university, Director of erstwhile UGC HRDC, now Madan Mohan Malviya Teachers Training Center of UGC Center, Dr. Atik Sir, Honorable President of Sri Shivaji Education Society, Honorable Principal and Heads of Department of Shivaji Science College, and most importantly, all learned faculty members who are there for our interactive session. So I sincerely thank you for all your participations and everybody for giving me an opportunity to interact with you. Friends, this topic, that is National Education Policy 2020, its implementation, is discussed a lot, but now time has come to implement and see the outcome of this policy through our implementation. No doubt, every policy is well drafted, well thought of. Question comes when it really is implemented and whatever are expected objectives, whether they are attained or not, and whether we are able to reach to the last stakeholder, that is our students and the students' career for which all of us work day and night. So let me tell you, this is a, you can say, long session. I fully understand. Being a teacher, to speak for hours together is not difficult, but to listen, really, we know what is the problem. We even face this in our regular 45 minutes, 60-minute class. So this is 3 hours our session. So let us try to break it in 3 small parts and let us try to make it more interactive so that by the end of third hour of our session, we do not lose the basic thread and wondered and feel, oh, it was too boring, something like that, because the, you can say, the program which is arranged by UGC, HRDC or MMTTC along with our esteemed college is ultimately we are expecting certain outcome out of it. So what are the learning outcome of our this 3 hour session? In my opinion, all of us should first appreciate and understand the background on which this policy is founded. This is what my first outcome I expect after our session. Second, for implementation, we have to understand how, when there is academic bank of credit, the student can earn credit from anywhere, the how the student will be considered as equivalent for a certain degree or certificate of one place. So many autonomous colleges will come. So many self-financed institutes or universities are likely to prop up. Cluster of university by forming a cluster of colleges, that concept is coming. So how, what thread will be common for networking, or you can general, our common word is equivalency of one level of award of one institute with another level of award of similar certificate of other institute. So these are the basic questions which come to we the teachers when we are now started implementing it. So to get some clarity of it, the policy had come out with certain instruments, all our, you can say, top notches of education sector in India, including Ministry of Education, University Grants Commission, all other statutory bodies like AICT. They have come on one common platform. A common framework is given to us. Now that framework will be the, you can say, joining points for all the doubts of us. So everybody, whether an institute is located at somewhere in Amravati or located somewhere in Kashmir, or you can say Chennai, how they will be having, what is that commonalities between all certification. So that is decided through certain framework. So in today's session, at the end of session, I expect that all of us will be able to understand the framework under which all the institutions and all the stakeholders will be working. So these two important outcomes we are expecting. And third will be the ease when we will apply NEP policy in our university, in our institution, even in my classroom planning, what changes I will be doing and how I will get myself aligned with the policies of the, and through this framework. This is what I expect the as three learning outcomes. So before we start, we have understood what will be our outcome. Now this session, we will try to divide in three parts. In first part of say about 30 to 45 minutes, we will understand the background of NEP. That is why we will be able to appreciate why these changes were necessary and how our student and we will be benefited. Or otherwise, if we don't do it now, how we may become out of line, out of alignment, and we may be thrown out of whole education system of the world. Second thing, in these 45 minutes, we will be able to appreciate the fundamental important policy benchmarks relevant to our higher education system. Then we will have a break for a few minutes if any questions are there on this first part of it. Then we will understand what are various frameworks, and in between we will take 15 to 20 minutes break, say after mid of the session, 1.5 hours, so that we can have our tea or something, get a bit refreshed. And for remaining balance 1.5 hours, we will have say about we will keep 10-20 minutes again for at the end question answers, and we will deeply understand the various frameworks on which our education system, including our universities and our college system, will be working. So this is how we will have different parts. So now I think we should go for our formal presentation. So let me see whether is my presentation visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us begin. So first part of our session will be to understand within few minutes the background of this policy. Then we will be able to outcome of this 10-20 minutes interaction will be, we will be able to appreciate the importance of implementing this policy because we are aligning ourselves with global standard. Friends, this, even though we call it National Policy 2020, our last policy was somewhere in 85 or 86. When last policy was implemented, the very year, next year, the starting of journey for new policy started. We know that in 1987, the policy which was very recently introduced somewhere in 85, 86, it was started getting changed. So 5 important global events which have impacted overall sector of the world, including India, how those 5 sectors affected our education system and what was the need of framing new policy. We will understand those 3 important 5 events which had global impact. First was somewhere in 87, Washington Accord came into existence, and concept of benchmarking the certain parameters, some quality parameters, so that particularly the degrees in technical education of those signatory countries will be accepted worldwide. India was the signatory of Washington Accord. So first and foremost thing came for standardization and benchmarking of parameters for determining the quality of education system, and those parameters were brought international standard. So we know through that process, National Board of Accreditation and later on NAC came into existence. So the NAC was nothing but making equivalency of our education, higher education quality parameters acceptably globally. So 1 degree of those signatory country was considered to be equivalent with any degree. So it was suitable, it was made almost mandatory for higher education as well as jobs, international jobs also. So Washington Accord was the first event which started affecting higher education system. So quality, you can say assessment agency like NAC and NBA came into existence, and all of us know the journey of NAC and how individual colleges got facelift or changes, documentation, presentations, and new concept which was not present earlier came into existence. Second event was somewhere 92 when India as a country adopted the policy of liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So that had a great impact earlier on trade and commerce, but there also education was one of the service sectors. So it started impacting education also. Third global event was somewhere in 1997 when in UNO Brundtland report came before the world. So that report came from Norway's prime minister was the chairperson of forming that report. And the report, we commonly know it as our common future, came on the floor and floor of the UNO. And 175 countries, whether Ukraine, Russia, whether India, Pakistan, whether Israel, Palestine, all those countries were came on one platform and accepted that report known as our common future, and the concept of sustainable development came into existence. Now that global event had big impact on all nations, but on Indian policy of makers also. We adopted 17 sustainable development goals as our national priorities also, wherein our education system had to be updated, changed, modified, revolutionized, so that India can achieve the world commitment of national, you can say sustainable, attaining the sustainable development goals. Then in 2004, around 2004, Johannesburg Declaration or Bonds Declaration related to sustainable development were accepted by the world. And it really had a great impact on education in general and higher education in particular. What was that declaration? The declaration was that, okay, world has accepted sustainable development concept of sustainability, and in future, any development will have to be tested with the litmus test of sustainability. But question is, who will bring this change? Who will bring new technologies, new way of living, you can say aligned with sustainability? That time, in Bonds Declaration, clear cut the onus of this sustainability were put on the shoulders of education. Very clearly, the Bonds Declaration states that education in general, higher education and technical education in particular, will have to take this torch and bring the change expected as far as sustainable development is concerned. So sustainability become the part of education policy. We will see it has got great impact on this policy. And last but not the least was the information technology revolution. All sectors were touched because of the IT revolution, including finance, share market, everything were touched, banking system, very sensitive areas also were touched with the information technology revolution. But education system little bit remained away. But in COVID season and when expansion of education came, the agenda of expansion of education came into picture, everybody accepted online mode is the one of the major, you can say, mode we have to adopt. Otherwise, our gross enrollment ratio or reaching, taking education to everybody's home, so will not be possible. So reaching every eligible learner, it is possible only through online mode, taking help of information technology. This is what was accepted globally, and India also had tested it. So IT revolution became one of the, you can say, fifth global event which touched everybody. That is why national education policy also, you will find, it reflects all expectation of these five global, everybody is impacted, you can say, events. That is why the foundation of national education policy is on five pillars: access, equity. These two pillars, and to some extent affordability, you will find it has got its roots in SDG, that is sustainability. Access, education, everybody should have easy access to the, you can say, education, as well as equity was also important. These are basic concepts of sustainability. And because sustainability talks about economy also, and countries like India, affordability is also important. So the NEP document, or as a policy, has got three important pillars which are based on concept of sustainability, that is access, equity, affordability. The fourth pillar, quality, you will find it is from Washington Accord, and education for all, but quality education for all. So quality is also important pillar, and it has to match. How to measure quality? So you write down what is expected, prepare the measurable benchmark for them, and everything should be directed towards those expected outcome. So outcome based quality education is the path ahead when we say it is implementation of MEP. And fifth pillar, which was possibly not with the teachers or with the institutions, we have never considered it as our responsibility. That fifth pillar is accountability. Now, you understand what do we mean by accountability. We have to ensure the number of students enrolled in the institution, in the campus, in the, you can say, university. So access, that is, we are accountable for number of enrollments in our institution. So there will be minimum benchmark, say 2000, 2500, if we want to call ourselves as university or institution. So access and other, we will be accountable. Equity, whether it is in online mode, offline mode, formal mode, informal mode, everybody should get, just like mobile. Anybody in world can use mobile with same features. So that type of same type of education should be available to each of the stakeholder. And again, we will be accountable for that, providing that type of thing. Quality, we have to first write down what are our outcomes expected. That is why program outcome, program educational outcome, course learning outcome, course outcome. So everything will have to be first stated in the form of outcomes. We have to set benchmark related to attainment of those outcomes, and we have to measure the outcome. We will be accountable for attaining those outcomes, and we will have to modify, just like a feedback mechanism, improve the system to get nearer to the expected outcome. That is how quality and accountability will be there. And for affordability, I need not say anything. All of us are very well aware. So you will find that national education policy is particularly based on these five pillars. So whatever we will plan, whatever we will execute, we have to keep these 5 pillars in mind when we frame anything for our institution or for as an individual, we as a teacher also. Now, when we go to inside of this policy document, you will find this policy has got 4 parts. Part one is for school education, part two is for higher education, like that, and last part is to make it happen. So, for our today's discussion, we will be only focusing on part two, that is higher education. But we should understand they are not discrete; they are all integrated or that way connected with each other. So any change cannot be brought at higher education unless it is brought in school education or it is brought to the making changes, how to make it happen. So there is continuum between all these 4 parts. But for our today's discussion, we will limit ourselves to the part two, that is higher education. Now, this document, before we go to understand the frameworks, we have to understand the fundamental concepts which are dealt in this policy or the instruments which are brought to implement policy. Somewhere, so whatever today we will be discussing, you will find it is there either in policy or in the instruments which have been given to implement the policy. First and foremost thing, this policy or its instrument very clearly answers 2, 3 questions. First question is, what do we mean by education henceforth after implementing this policy? Second thing, what for education and for whom education? So, what is education? What are the domains of education? And what are the different types of education? And these all domains, various types, how they will be integrated so that there will be interoperability of stakeholder from one type of education to the other. So understand that interoperability and domains. Let us understand the policy statement. What does it state? Now, yesterday only we have celebrated birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, and incidentally, the policy accepts the concept of education as was given by Swamiji. Swamiji has given this, you can say, concept that education is manifestation of divine perfection which is already within an individual. Now, once we accept the definition of education as something which is already there, so what does it mean for us with the teacher? Number one, it takes out our ahankar completely. Generally, up till now, we used to feel that because I teach, student learn. The concept now, he is already having something. Our role is only the facilitator. So our role is to identify perfection in any individual, and we have to devise mechanism and become a facilitator so that this already existing perfection gets manifested through our facilitation and through efforts of that individual. So concept of education is the process of manifestation, and here the role of one per individual, that is learner, is more predominant than role of earlier a teacher. So now henceforth we will be more in a facilitator role, and we have to help individual, that is learner. So complete focus gets shifted from teaching to learning. This is the big outcome of very definition of the education, which is, you can say, made by this policy. Now there are various other definitions. We will just scan through those. Even dictionary says it is aggregate of all processes where persons develop abilities, attitude, and forms of behavior for practical value. So you will find this part is also is considered in domains of education. So education integrates complex of knowledge, attitudes, and skill. So this policy says that our facilitation should lead to integration of knowledge, attitude, and skill. It means we have to impart knowledge, we have to develop attitude, and we have to ensure that students imbibe the skills. So our role as a facilitator is in these three parts. Now, Western thoughts are also given a place in this policy. What Socrates has said, Plato has said, Aristotle has said. But overall, you will find whether it is Western thoughts or anything, Swami Vivekanandaji's, you can say, concept of education is more relevant, and you will find all Western thoughts have also are aligned with Vivekanandaji's and our NEP's basic thought on which whole policy is based. Now, let us understand the domains of education, because it is necessary that what is the outcome for our first part? Our first part is there are 5 pillars we cannot ignore whenever we will implement it. So keep always those 5 pillars. Second is concept of definition of education. So we are to play the role of facilitator, and we have to ensure the integration of knowledge, attitude, and skills. So this is what will be our role when we have whatever we do at any level. Accordingly, NEP policy talks about 3 domains of education. One is affective domain, that is behavior domain, value domain, disposition domains, ethics domain, which was probably earlier was not given as much emphasis as given in this implementation of this policy. So our some of the learning areas in our syllabi will necessarily based on affective domain, that is value domain, ethics domain, or dispositions domain. Second is psychomotor, that is skilling, training, skilling. So this policy has given a big thrust on skilling and training, knowing something and ability to do whatever I know. So up till now, our education was more inclined or focused towards academic domain. But now, along with academic, we have to ensure psychomotor, that is training and skilling, ability to do the things, and with values and ethics. And first one, which we are already expert, is cognitive domain. So our education system at any level, let it be school level, let it be college level, we will see in NSQF and NHEQF, there are again levels of education. So level 4.5 is first year, 5 is our second year, 5.5 is third year. So whether we are at level 4.5 or 5 or 5.5, we will be operating or facilitating the learner to acquire 3 domains, to become perfect in 3 domains: cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. So this we have to keep always in mind whenever we will design syllabus or we will impart the syllabus. Now this first domain, cognitive domain, means information, understanding, thinking, and knowledge domain. There are, as per Bloom's taxonomy, there are levels again in this knowledge domain, such as remembering, that is recalling the previous learned material. Comprehension means understanding of it. Application is using, analyzing with breaking, evaluation is justifying, and synthesis is new structure, creating new knowledge. So because we are in higher education, you will find that we will be required to operate into higher levels of even cognitive domain. Knowledge, again, are 2 types. We have to be very clear when we will impart knowledge. One is descriptive knowledge, other is procedural knowledge. Descriptive is something knowing that, and procedural knowledge is knowing how. So when we will impart the knowledge, we are expected to have our area in both in descriptive knowledge area or procedural knowledge area. So when we will design syllabus, when we will impart syllabus, we will have to keep eye that we are imparting both descriptive as well as, you can say, procedural knowledge. Now, as per Bloom's taxonomy, remembering is, you can say, lowest level, creating is highest. And up till now, our education was mainly focusing on remembering, understanding, and applying. But in higher education, now focus will be more on applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Now it will not only be in the area of imparting, we have to give focus less on something on memory based, little bit more on understanding, say more again on applying, then analyzing, evaluating, creating. It is not only for giving in our class or laboratories or any other places, but in examinations, evaluation, and assessment also. Our way, the way we set our question paper, the way we will have our internal assessment. Now, internal assessment is 40%, external exam is only 60%. So more focus is given on continuous assessment, individual levels assessment, college level assessment. So not only in teaching, but even in assessment evaluation, we have to ensure that our focus is on level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, less on remembering. And we know that creating and evaluating these two are judged more on collaborative or project work or experiential assessment, to how students perform in project, how do they present seminars, how do they do self-studies. So those will be the areas. But our written examination, university examination or our class test, they will be mainly based on understanding, more on applying and analyzing. Evaluating and creating will be assessed through, you can say, projects like thing. But our regular writing examinations should have more emphasis on applying, analyzing, and understanding. So this is what we have to take away from first domain. Now, second domain is doing domain, skilling domain, which is commonly known as psychomotor domain. Now, here also, you will find there are 7 levels from perception, set, guided response, mechanism, complete overt response, adaptation, and organization. Now, perception, set, get, set, go. What we generally do in schools, we prepare the student, put them on one line, and we announce, get, set, go. So that type of, you can say, getting the things done are, you can say, acceptable levels for school. But for us, it will be minimum. Our experimental setup, our laboratories, our project, our field work, where we are expecting students or learner to do the things. We want to increase their ability of doing, of that type of training we are giving. The more thrust should be on guided response. So for first year practicals, we will have to ensure that the work is going through guided response. But by the time final year project comes or final year laboratories come, we have to ensure that our focus is towards adoption and organization. Say, for example, in first year laboratory, we may give the experimental name, we may explain all the instruments which are being used, we tell them how to use that instrument to do the experiment, and we ensure the perfection of doing any time at any number of times the given experiment. That will be okay for first year. But by the time the learner comes in higher level, what we call it as final year, probably we will have to give a problem situation in laboratory, and we will give only the instrument, and we will ask student, you, these are the instrument available in the laboratory. You search which one is useful to solve your problem, and our experimental setup will be open-ended problem, and student individually or collaboratively may come out, perform the experiment, and address, find the solution for a week, for the situation which we have given as a problem statement. So our way of working in classroom or in laboratory will differ at what level we are, you can say, imparting the education to the student. I may be the teacher of first year as well as final year. My approach in first year theory practical class will be altogether different than my approach in final year class. So this is what we have to understand when we say we implement the NEP. Now in skills domain, we have to understand three different terminologies very clearly. That is capacity or skill, what is competency, and learning outcomes. Friends, all education is directed towards outcome-based education. So by imbibing capacities and competencies in students, we have to ensure that whatever pre these learning outcomes are pre-decided, the stakeholder, the student, attend those, you can say, pre-decided learning outcome. This is the strategy we have to adopt when we execute our syllabus. So even in skill domains, we should be very clear about the terminology like capacities, competencies, and learning outcomes. I am not reading it because it is already available on the screen, and I know Ankit sir will, you can say, share all these screens with you people. Now this competencies for any forms of work. So this is particularly the main thrust of NEP, that students should be developed. We are creating the competency, capacity development, competency based education is the catchword for implementing this policy. So whatever knowledge a student earns, he should also have capacity and competency to apply that knowledge in real life situation. So accordingly, this concept of competencies should also be very well understood, and this concept should be imbibed when we will carry out our practical hours or experimental hours or project hours. So psychomotor domain, again, levels are there. For perception is lowest, organization is highest. Third domain, which was probably earlier little bit neglected in our curriculum, but now NEP, when we say we implement NEP, means along with cognitive knowledge domain, we have to ensure psychomotor domain and implementation or in affective domain. Affective domain talks about values, ethics, dispositions. Again, these values and dispositions are the sources of motivation. That is why it is thrust very much in NEP that education system must impart values, ethics. That is why universal human values and value education, life skills, those components of, you can say, NEP are being implemented in syllabus. That is the, you can say, mandate of NEP, because these values and dispositions are sources of motivation. Values are what is right and what is wrong, while dispositions are attitude and perceptions that form the basis for behavior. So these aspects are considered to be very important in tomorrow's world, 21st century world. So they have to be provided again through levels: receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and internalizing. Again, in these levels, receiving and responding are lower levels of this affective domain, while valuing, organization, and internalizing, those are higher levels of, you can say, this affective domain of the education. What does it mean? When student will perform or participate even in sports or in cultural activity or in home assignment or group project, we have to value who are the taking efforts, who are behind the screen, who participate a lot, but not on, they do not come on front, but they work a lot behind it. Who is the real initiator of writing homework or doing project work? Who simply copies it? Same thing in our laboratory also. So our assessment and valuation matrices, and you can say benchmarks which we'll do, should have all these parameters which will, we will be able to assess the values and ethical part of our student learner also. Somebody is copying. Now it will not be only for PhD. that PhD copying somebody's matter is considered as crime. So it will not remain only for now PhDs. It will be for our routine assignments too. We will have to imbibe in student mind that copying somebody will not be acceptable anymore. We have to work on this domain also when we will be doing our routine teaching job. So again, as I told you, so there are, you can say, uh, 5 steps in affective domain. And for higher education, our domain will be more on valuing, organizing, and internalizing. So our curriculum, later on when we will go to framework, you will find the descriptors which are given qualification descriptors, you will find they are divided in these 3 domains. So outcome for whatever for last 45 minutes we have discussed is that we have understood the background on which NEP has come out right from 1987 to 2020 when it finally came out. What are the global events which have impacted all systems, including education system. We have understood the important 5 pillars and how they are related in devising syllabus to assessment of the student. So we have to keep those 5 domains in whenever we will be working in our education system. We have understood domains of education. We know that henceforth education means it will be covering 3 main domains: knowledge domain, skill domain, and value ethics domain. Now let us understand what are various types of education and how they are interlinked network in this policy. Generally, our earlier higher education was academic education. So it was focused on cognitive domain, that is information and knowledge domain. So it is known as academic, you can say, education. Second part of education, type of education, is vocational education, and NEP's more thrust is on integrating vocational education in academic education. What do we understand by vocational education? It is the complex of knowledge, attitude, and skill, but for a particular occupation. So, for a particular occupation, when little knowledge, more skill, and attitude for that is imbibed in a student, but it is related keeping that occupation in mind. So, that is known as vocational education. It distinguishes from academic education in close linkage of knowledge and skills to specific practical challenge in the economy. Now here our integration of vocational education in academic means we will have to bring defined set of practical competencies in specific areas of work of economy. Later on, when we will see purpose of education, you will find the mandate given to us. Why education? That answer tells us we have to prepare our students and we have to make them competent so that they can work efficiently with confidence and competence in the economy. So we have to imbibe those knowledge, skills, and attitude for the practical areas in the present economy, and that will be integrated with our knowledge-based education. So second part is vocational education. Third is professional education, where it involves mainly ethics and importance of public purpose. That is why we call medical education, architecture education, law education, engineering education more as a professional education, because the society in general, public in general, gives trust. They have got lot of belief. When doctor prescribes certain drug, we never question. We have got full belief in his knowledge, skill, and we say that okay, whatever he is doing, the doctor is doing for betterment only, ethically only. So when that those attributes are more important, and that type of education where such attributes are developed, we call it as professional education. And technical education, it includes degree, diplomas, program in engineering, technology, management, more of professional all programs, but related to technology management, town planning, pharmacy. So that we call it as technical education. Now, why we should understand types of education? Because the policy says henceforth education will be multidisciplinary. Standalone engineering college, standalone commerce college, standalone science college. These concepts, even standalone technical only university, standalone only, you can say engineering university, such of, you can say, standalone institutions will vanish, and education will be converted into multidisciplinary. To understand multidisciplinary education, it is necessary for us to understand types of education. Once we understand, we find the commonality, and then we will be able to join the dots, and we can do network of academic education with vocational education, professional education with multidisciplinary education, technical education with humanities education. So that type of networking is expected. To do it in a better way, it is necessary for us to understand basically what are these types and what do they mean. Now, once we have understood now education, domains of education, types of education, now this is the background. Now we will come to the highlights of policy, which we should understand so that we can implement it when we will talk about framework. So this knowledge, that what do we mean by education, what are the domains, what are the types, and what are the highlights and milestones of this policy statement. Once we understand, then it will be easy for us to understand the future things like framework, or research development, what are expected in different domains in this policy. So let us understand the fundamental policy statement. What for education? We are trying to find answer. See, up till now, we have understood what is education. Very clear, it is manifestation of perfection. We the educator means we the facilitator. Whatever is already there, we have to identify those perfections. We have to ensure that through learners' effort, we are able to come out. And three types of, you can say, we have to make a good blend of knowledge, skill, and values. This is what we have understood what is mean by education. Now, what for education? Why anybody should take education? And what we mean that we want to give education means exactly what are we to expected in this policy. Very clearly it is given. We have to enable individual. So it will be individual centric. It will not be complete class or complete mass centric henceforth. So we have to enable individual to study one or more specialized area of interest. So students' interest, students' passion, learner. Here you will, everywhere you will find the word learner and learning. Nowhere you will find the word teacher and teaching. So we have to help students to study one or more specialized area of interest at deep level, one thing. Second part is develop character, ethical, constitutional values. So a second domain. And third, 21st century capabilities. So we have to work on knowledge domain, we have to work on ethics, values domain, and we have to work on capability, that is skills domain. Across range of discipline, including science, social science, art, humanities, language, as well as professional, technical, and vocational subjects. So it will be the integration of these three types of education: professional, technical, vocational, with academic education. It will be multidisciplinary in the ranges of science, social science, art, humanities, languages, and in the three domains, like you can say skilling, knowledge, and behavior. So this is what we have to develop individual in this area. This is the mandate given to us. So to fulfill this mandate, we have to plan accordingly. Now, what is the most accountability? That fifth pillar,
See, what word is used? Must word is used. It must prepare students for what? Meaningful, satisfying lives. So our curriculum, our efforts, our teaching, what we call it, should ensure preparing students for three areas. One, our students should lead meaningful and satisfying lives. Word happy, satisfying is used, successful is not used. A person definition of success is altogether different, and happiness and satisfaction is altogether different. Padma Shri Dr. Golde is a doctor, but throughout his life he worked in tribal. So he led the satisfying and happy life. We do not know how much money he has earned. So on materialistic way, somebody may say he did not live successful life, but definitely he has led satisfying and happy life. And this is the outcome expected from education. Second, prepare the students for their future work roles. And we are accountable for that. This is the big challenge for we the education is at present. See, we should anticipate, we should forecast, we should find out what job role my graduate, my student will be going. Daily, the economic situation is changing. New challenges come into economic market. We, the educator, will have to study the changes happening after 6, 7 years, because once the student is with me, he will pass out after 3, 4 years. 2 years he will learn from market, and after 5, 6 years he will be doing the job role expected. Now, NEP expects with the institution, with teachers, that we should be able to forecast, anticipate the job role for our student, for which suppose I am a teacher of chemistry. I must understand when student goes into the profession, what challenges in the area of chemistry the student will be facing, and I have to prepare my student for in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills and attitude in the domain of chemistry. For after 6, 7 years, when my student is with me, I have to plan his career, what will be there after 6, 7 years. So this is the mandate given to us. See how difficult task we have to now carry on. And third mandate, we have to prepare students to be enable economic independence. So what for education, what for institution, what for faculty and staff. So students are for getting prepared for these three roles with the teachers and the institutions. Our mandate given to us through this policy is for these three areas, in three domains and three areas. So this is the challenge we have to face. With this background, we will have to understand the, you can say, various frameworks under which we will be operating, and qualification descriptors, all those things will have to be understood from this perspective now. The purpose of education is also given in this policy, is to develop good human being capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temperament and creative imagination, sound ethical moral and values, producing engaged, productive, contributing citizens for building equitable, inclusive, plural society as envisaged by our Constitution. So this is the very purpose given for the education system. The beauty of this policy is, before dictating what we should do, before they have very clearly given what is education, what is purpose of education, what do we mean by educating the people. So that is very clearly given to us, and this enables us to devise our system, design our syllabi, so that this expected the outcomes we can achieve. Now, aim of education will not be only cognitive development, which we are presently doing, but building character, creating holistic, well-rounded individual equipped with 21st century skills. Means, again, we will be operating in the three domains of cognitive, affinitive, and psychomotor domains. Very clearly, the policy statement states it. Now, we understand the terminology because we understand the domains now. What is the vision? The vision is alignment of our higher education system towards attaining sustainable development goal. See, again, as I was telling, SDG has got its footprint in framing this policy. The development of vocational capacities will go hand in hand with development of academic and other capacities. That is why the skilling part is given equal importance as that of academic part. Earlier, our education was more towards academic focus, but equal weightage will have to be given for developing the skilling capacities, capabilities, and capacities where student will be able to perform and do by its own hand. The reforms are given in NEP to overcome social status hierarchy. We consider vocational people as inferior, cognitive knowledge domain people as more superior. The policy looks at equity for all, equalizing everybody. So now vertical, you can say our hierarchy, where academic are considered to be more than those who practice vocation, it has to be horizontalized. This is the one reform they are expecting. Second reform, reintegration of vocational education program into all mainstream education, including school education as well as in higher education. So we have to prepare for this reform also. And our, you can say, theoretical background, general education setting, it will always be there, but it will be integrated with skill education, maybe on our own or in partnership with industry and NGOs. So our education partner through this reform, industry and NGOs will also be our education partner as a regular education partner in imparting education. Even ODL can be practiced for vocational. Now, for accommodating skill education, volley education, the very big reform which is suggested is education must move towards less content. Are we ready? When we devise our syllabus, we feel how much more and more content we can, you can say, put in our syllabus. Our approach, because I was also for 4 decades a part of, you can say, syllabus framing mechanism, BOS, etc. We used to always keep, ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए. But the policy says move towards less content, more towards learning, more towards critical thinking and problem solving, move towards more creative, move towards more multidisciplinary, and expectations are of student learner should be able to innovate, adapt and absorb new material, novel and changing field. This is the, you can say, direction for us to frame the syllabus. This is how we have to prepare right from first stage of preparing syllabus. We will be going for level-based program. Our dictum, our guiding principle for setting our questions, setting our syllabus delivery. This is what is, these reforms are our, you can say, directives for our case. Skilling is given very important. So it need not only through our university set syllabus, but continually depending upon the changing skill requirement of the market, we have to continually, every year, every semester, this 3 months, 6 months skilling courses, it is expected that we change and we give to our student. So it is not that once vocational skill education component and syllabus is framed, it will not be changed unless BOS changes it. No. Here, flexibility is given to individual teacher, every individual institution to offer 12 to 30, 12 to 30 credit courses wherein every institution, every individual can frame syllabus, impart training of 12 credits to 30 credits. See, this UGC report is there. Recently, World Economic Forum has published its report about job market up to 2030. They have given the areas in which there will be the requirement of solution providers, problem solvers, and market, what we generally call for educated graduates. So they have given the skill requirement. So that shows data analytics, AI, even in science, even in physics, that type of attitude and approach is expected. So UGC has given the provision for skill gap analysis. They have given the reports. They have given 21st century's need of 21st century skills. Only one statement of that report I will read. Over next 3 years, 85 million jobs will be lost. But a good part of second part is 97 million new ones will be created. So NEP gives us mandate that we have to prepare students for their future job roles. So our student job role will be in those 97 million new ones. And if we prepare the student with existing skills, which is in presently 85 million jobs, they will be redundant, they will not be useful if the same skill is imbibed them, which is covering 85 million jobs. So we have to give skills where these 97 million jobs are being created. So it is said that mainly new demand will be in BFSI, pharmaceutical, e-commerce, IT is, sectors, and freshman hiring will increase by minimum 20%. So to align with this report, UGC has come out with the instrument that policy, NEP policy also says that HEIs will be allowed to conduct short-term certificate courses. So this is a new component in our education system. Earlier, whatever university syllabus was available, we used to impart teaching, learning, training, skilling in whatever is given by university. But now freedom and flexibility is given to individual teacher and individual HEI that from 12 credits to 30 credits, we can have our own, you can say, skill development course in any stream. And anybody who has passed level 4, that is, who has passed equivalent to 12, our own student or student who is not enrolled in our college or university, we can enroll anybody who has passed 12 or equivalent for these 3 months, 6 months courses. This is something new, which is imbibed in, you can say, education policy. Work integrated training and other models are also to be implemented. That is why apprenticeship embedded degree program, internship embedded degree program. So internship, apprenticeship will be integral part of higher education. We know that recently government of Maharashtra has come out with some package also, few thousand rupees, 5,000, 10,000 rupees. If a student is in diploma, he may get 5,000. If he is in degree, he may get 10,000. Only condition is a student has to undergo minimum 6 months of internship. And those 6 months of internship will be part of his degree, will be part of his curriculum. So online, through Swayam, other credits a student can earn 1 semester learning, he can do online, but a student can undergo 6 months of apprenticeship or internship with the stipend of about few thousand, 10,000 rupees. So this government, UGC, They are coming out with scheme to get aligned with NEP policy. Remember, this partnership with industry employer, apprenticeship, internship are the part of NEP only. So whatever support expected from government and universities, it is coming out because as a part of implementation of NEP. Now those people, NEP, you can say our regulators, UGC, AICT, they are coming out to support in support of NEP implementation. Government is coming out in support of NEP implementation. Now it is expected that we, the university, we, the institution, we, the teachers, take initiative and help of all these support system given by UGC and government. Otherwise, we will be held accountable. In spite of giving all facilitation, what is expected, support and facilitation by government, they are giving. But if we don't implement and give advantage to our student, in that case, that fifth column, so, that is accountability. After few years, that will be used in our assessment. So please, a big revolution, big change is expected in implementation of, you can say, this thing, NEP. So almost, you can say, 75 minutes session, and first part, which was expected in, you can say, our planning, that we will undergo some part before we understand various framework. So first part I have completed. I just try to recollect what we have done. We have understood the steps, what necessitated the coming out of new education national policy by government. So the global events impacting all nations from 1987 to almost 2020, including Washington Accord, including our country's adoption of globalization as national policy, Brundtland Report, concept of sustainable development, Bonds Declaration, Johannesburg Declaration, information technology revolution. So we find all these events have footprints in framing national education policy. There are 5 pillars, other pillars like equity, access, quality, then making it you can say affordable. Along with that, there is one pillar which is accountability also. Then we have understood as from policies perspective, what is education, what are domains of education, what is cognitive domain, what is psychomotor domain, what is affinitive domain, how values, skilling are to be integrated with academic stream, that is knowledge domain, which we are currently doing, how networking of various types of education, academic education, vocational education, technical education, professional education. Now, networking of this will be done to make multidisciplinary education. We have understood as per policy, what is the expected outcome? Why education? That question is also answered in national education policy, and outcomes also, expected outcomes. What for education? Why should student take education, and what the giver educators should give the education? So those 3 expectations are very clearly spelled out. We have to prepare student for happy life. We have to prepare student for their job roles. We have to prepare student for economic independence, and everything will be later on measured with, and we will be made accountable for that. Now, under this, all these important aspects we have considered as a background, and now we will be going into the common national level framework. How the institution or a university located somewhere in Amravati will become equivalent with somewhere in Delhi or in Kashmir. How everything will be networked for equivalency, everything Everybody will have to follow certain things. That framework we will understand. And once local to national framework, we will understand how that national framework is aligned with global framework. So friends, it's a journey from local to global through national. So this is what is the implementation of NEP. I think we should take few minutes if somebody is, I think Shrikant sir also has raised hand. So let me give few minutes for interactive session. Please, if any query, try to ask. To my best of my ability, with my limited knowledge, I will try to give some answer for your query. So
Thank you,
let
sir.
us
Thank
wait
you.
for 5 minutes.
Participant, the forum is open for discussion for 5 minutes. If you have any queries or the question, yes, Dr. Shrikant Madiwale sir, you can directly ask sir. Sir Madiwale sir, please.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to all of you, and good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my question to you, sir. Can an individual institute, if that is affiliated with any university, develop, deliver, and certify a program for participants outside the university?
Yes, sir. See, UGC as well as NEP says that 3 months, 6 months program, even any individual teacher or any individual institute can develop along with employer or along with industry for skilling the student, and credits from 12 minimum to 30 credits can be given to that student, whether he is our student or student from outside our college campus of any university. Can we offer such courses to them? Answer is yes. Will student get benefit out of it? Answer is yes. Only thing, that assessment and certification should be from competent authorities, such as all sector skill councils are considered as competent authority. Universities are considered as competent authority. So those who are competent authority for assessment and giving certificates, the courses which are run by individual institutions, they are for their own student or outside student. The policy says they can, students can, and credits have to be given, which will go to academic bank of credit. So if students earn credit through such courses, they should get counted for their degree credits also. So this is a very clear mandate. Now whether it will be immediately implemented, probably once our BOS and faculty and academic council gets educated, they will have to, today or tomorrow, will have to permit it. Swayam up to 40% is allowed, sir, as per policy. Total credit, out of total credit, 40% credit can be earned through Swayam. So that is one indication. Be a part of Swayam. Immediately, you can give courses to students throughout India.
Okay, sir. One more question. If
Yes.
we design the course, do we require to take the permission from our parent university?
I will not say permission, but approval of BOS will be a better thing, because when our own student will offer and we will assess and give credit. See, when our batch will come to second year, there is a component of vocational education, VSEC, vocational skill education component, and SEC, skill education component. Now, flexibility is expected in VSEC. You are located in particular, you can say, area wherein lot of skill is required for that location and lot of skill givers are available. So that flexibility should be exercised. For safety purpose, I will suggest submit your curriculum to BOS. Use your all resources that BOS accepts it, and get forward it to faculty and, you can say, academic council. Once we get approved, because presently our system is rigid, people have not become so much liberal and open to these new things which are coming. on long term, I will say even such things will not be required. But for short, immediate, I will suggest you prepare a syllabus, prepare a scheme of valuation, say that we will be offering it under BSEC domain wise or ACC, submit it to BOS, use all your resources to get it approved and then implement it. But basically, can you? Answer is yes. Should you? Answer is yes. Just to go along with present rigidity so that tomorrow problem will not come. So presently follow this process of approaching BOS. This will be my suggestions.
And same thing is applicable to the participants which are outside from the university, is it?
Yes, yes. If your assessment is through competent authority like
Yeah.
Sector Skill Council or anybody whom Sector Skill Council has approved, or university or Board of Technical Education, if such competent, or NTA, National Testing Agency. So if your important part in case of credit, it should be only after assessment and evaluation by competent authority. You have to ensure attainment of expected learning outcomes. And for that, assessment is very important. Now there will be reforms in assessment also, even in university system as well. But remember, sir, when you will offer any such program, ensure that you submit it to BOS and ensure that assessment is done by some competent authority. College offering something, college only assessing, giving certain certificate and claiming for credit, probably that will not be there. So best way, my advice will be, go for Swayam Plus courses. Along with Swayam, there are Swayam Plus courses which are relevant for science and other streams. And there you impart the training, get it assessed through that Swayam Plus. In the India, nobody can deny credit and contribution in credit in degree. That is what will happen, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I hope, sir, I have could answer your query little.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, any other questions or the queries? If not, we will take the break for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, Ankit. Thank you very much, Ankit.
Sir, I think there is no more queries, so we will stop for 10 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. After 10 minutes, we will rejoin and
Okay, sir.
continue for second part.
Yes, sir. Sharp at 12:33, we will resume, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
So participants, there will be a break for 10 minutes. You can stay connected, and 12:33 we will resume our session.
Ankit, one more request.
Yes,
If
sir.
student may not have query, but if student have any suggestion regarding, say,
Yeah,
session,
yeah,
they
definitely.
can they are open to give me suggestions so that I will try to improve myself in my second part of the
Yeah,
session.
sir. Definitely, sir.
Thank you.
Hope so all the participants have resumed the sessions. Hello, Professor Marathe sir. Okay, we'll wait for a couple of time.
Yes, Ankit, I am also there. Yeah.
Shall we start, sir? If you
Yeah. I think we should.
please continue, sir. Please
Okay.
continue.
Yes. Just looking presentation. Yeah. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Screen is visible, sir.
Okay, so we will start. Yeah. So, friends, let us within 2 minutes, we will recap what we have. Thank you. So, within 2 minutes, we will recap what we have done. We have, in the first part, understood the 5 pillars of NEP, the necessity of NEP. Now, everybody of us will be appreciating that yes, NEP was much needed, some reforms were required, and those reforms are coming through, you can say, the policy document called as NEP. Now we have understood what is the concept of education. Henceforth, we will be going what for education, what is the mandate for us. We have to ensure always our outcome is preparing student for their future job role, that we know now. We also know that we have to ensure that student become economically independent. So from that angle, we have to instill capacities and capabilities. And education will be complex manifestation in domains of knowledge, skill, values, and ethics. So henceforth, our education will have always 3 components, and those will be related with 3 components of, you can say, giving knowledge, imparting skills, and developing behavior. This is what we mean by developing overall personality. Now, second question comes, when it is implemented throughout the nation, when academic bank of credit is there, when credit, one institute will be giving credit for something, other will be giving, then how it will be managed? How we can say our course at Amravati University, a student can take something from Pune, something from Mumbai, something from Swayam, something from Amravati, and he will design his own degree. Who will give the degree? Then when he is earning credit from so many people. Now, when we are giving, you can say, knowledge and skills in various domains, we are making it multidisciplinary. How it will be managed? Obviously, such questions will crop up. And to answer those questions, for implementation of NEP, our topmost regularity bodies like University Grants Commission, Ministry of Education, AICT, they have come on same platform. And they have come out with minimum 4 frameworks. Now, this, even though whole policy talks about liberal education, flexible education, but those flexibilities and freedom will be governed under this minimum 4 framework. So everybody of us in the country will have to follow same framework. So we are going from local to national equivalency through these 4 frameworks, and you will find that these 4 frameworks are aligned with international or global standard. So we are going from local to national and national to global. This is the process journey of education system. Let us understand with this small background what are the frameworks which we are talking about. There are mainly, you can say, 4 frameworks, out of which 3 we will be discussing in today's our session. One is National Credit Framework, another is Qualification Framework, and third one is Curriculum Framework. So Credit Framework, Qualification Framework, and Curriculum Framework. So we have got freedom, we have got flexibility. Individual college has got flexibility, but that flexibility will be subjected to either credit framework or qualification framework as well as curriculum framework. So let us understand what is this credit framework. So this document, National Credit Framework, you will find all statutory bodies are involved. If you see the top, you will find Ministry of Education is there, UGC is there, AICT is there, everybody is there. And the document has come out through this report of high-level committee from all these, you can say, statutory bodies. And it is on April 23, it was made published and accepted as a instrument for implementation of NEP. Now, this framework, National Credit Framework, is based on the principle that credits are the function of achieving desired learning outcome determined by successful assessment. So, sir has asked a specific question, can we run some training program for any our course? Answer is yes, but it will be the subjective to achieving the learning outcome. So learning outcome will have to be specified, and achievement or attainment of those learning outcome should only be after successful assessment, and assessment agency has to be competent authority. So this is the basic principle of credit framework. So sir has very rightly and nicely asked this question. Answer is in the principle of awarding any credit. Now, what are the major dimensions of this National Credit Framework? From where credits can be earned? Number one, credits are not to be given as gift or award or reward. Credits are to be earned by the learner. That is the important thing. Credits are not gift, but credits are to be earned. By what? By virtue of academic education, by virtue of vocational education, by virtue of experiential learning. So anything and everything, all 3 domains, and anything and everything where learning happens and where desired learning outcomes are mentioned and they are assessed, credits can be earned. Credits can be earned through co-curricular activities, through seminars, through some wall magazines, some participation, some training, some academic program. Of course, a student, we are very much aware of giving marks and giving degrees through academic education. So, dimensions of earning credit is through anything and everything where learning happens, credits can be given. Now, there is a close relationship between learning hours credits and learning assessment, that attainment of outcome assessment. This is very important for all of us to understand how credits assignment will take place. Now remember, it is a national level framework. So every institute in nation, and it is aligned with global, so accepted and globally, there will be a close relation of learning hours and credit. Remember, it is not about teaching hours. It is about learning hours. And in accordance with the international best practice, so aligned with international standard, there will be 1200 learning hours per year. So when earlier we used to call 1 year, 1 academic year, say from July to June is our academic year. Okay, you continue to call academic year, but academic year doesn't mean July to June. Now, or next thing we have asked, 1 academic year means 2 semesters. So semester 1 and 2 means 1 year, first year. 3 and 4 means second year. That was our second definition of.
इको फ्रेंड्सच्या पण तर दरवर्षीच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी आहे ते पण बरं त्याच्या अंतर्गत टाकले
आणि मशरूम कल्टिव्हेशन हे बेस्ट प्रॅक्टिसेस घेतले
सत्वा काहीच नाही सत्वा ते काहीच नाही
मेडिको बॉटनिकल गार्डन फ्लोरा आणि वर्मी कंपोस्ट युनिट हे डिस्टिंक्ट डिपार्टमेंट
Probably somebody is having
प्रॉती
something.
गार्डन घेतले ऑप्शन
Ankit, can you request please?
yes ऍक्टिव्हिटीज मॅडम
मागच्या वर्षीच्या आहेत ना
Ankit, can you please request participant?
मॅडमकडे असते
May I request participant to please mute because it disturbs a lot. So now our 1 year will be from 1 academic year is one part, inclusive of 2 semester is second part, but henceforth NEP means 1 year equivalent to 1200 learning hours. And 1200 learning hours will be 40 credits. So if we talk about a semester, 1 semester means 600 learning hours and minimum 20 credits. So this is how credits are not related with marks. Credits are related with learning hours. So 1 year means 1200 hours learning, and it will enable learner to earn 40 credits. 1 semester means 600 learning hours. It will enable student to earn 20 credits. So this is how notional hours of learning and assignments of credit are interrelated. So for every 1200 hours of learning, student or learner can have 40 credits. And then credit points are calculated as credit earns multiplied by the level. That level part we will come later on. So credits and learning hours we will understand right now. Say for example, now this level part we will come when we will come to NSQF and NHEQF. Presently, just take level as 4.5, which is first year to begin with. So when we say first year, now NEP will say level 4.5. And first year will have 2 semesters, so 1200 and hours. And if a student attends the course outcome and completes learning of 1200, the student will be able to earn 40 credits, and his credit point will be 40 multiplied by 4.5, that is 180. So this is how credit hours and credit points, they are correlated in NEP. So for us, the important takeaway is this slide, that when we talk about 1 semester, see, when generally our Board of Studies, Faculty and Academic Council gives us teaching learning scheme, teaching examination scheme. Now henceforth, it will not remain teaching examination scheme. It will be teaching learning. So learning what must be there, and along with examination, evaluation and assessment. So all schemes given by university or designed by us should be learning schemes, evaluation, assessment, and examination schemes. This should be the part. Now, if I talk about one semester, we have to ensure that minimum learning hours are 600. Say, for example, I talk about one semester. Generally, we say that one semester is of 90 teaching days and another semester of 90 teaching days. So, 1 year comprises of 180 teaching days. So, one semester will be 90 teaching days, and in those 90 teaching days, it is expected there will be 15 learning weeks. I repeat, one semester, 90 teaching days, 600 learning hours, 15 learning weeks. So learning hours per week are 600 upon 15, that is 40. Now, why I am giving more thrust on this? Because in your scheme of learning, what university gives, there is a column, weekly teaching load, earlier we used to call. Make it weekly learning hours. And summation of that learning hour should not be less than 40. Now, what comes under learning? Is it only contact? No. Assignment comes under learning. Your assessment examination comes under learning. So learning hours should have contact hours of 28 to 32, which earlier also we used to have, and minimum 6 to 8 assessment and assignments hours, so that summation of learning hours should not be less than 40. Now, this is how equivalency of learning scheme throughout India and its alignment with global standard will be checked. What is the takeaway for us? Our scheme of teaching or learning should show learning hours per week. If there are 15 weeks in our academic calendar, university academic calendar, then it should be 40. If there are 17 weeks of calendar, it should be 36, 37. Depending upon number of weeks shown in academic calendar, our learning hours should be not less than 36 or around 40, and semester-wise learning hours should not be less than 600. If it is less than 600 or per week less than 40, then our scheme will be rejected at national level. They will say that you are not following the framework. So please ensure in our framework, learning hours are not less than 600 per semester or not less than 40 in a week. This is what is there. Now, for theory classes and tutorial classes, 1 hour of learning will entail student to earn 1 credit, and for practical, 2 hours of learning will enable student to earn 1 credit. So this is how, what does it mean? In my teaching scheme, I have got number 1, earlier our 40 minutes class, 45 minutes class, 48 minutes class, everything should be converted into 1 hour. It will be easier. Number of periods, suppose earlier you used to take 5 periods, now you will take 4 periods. Our workload is always calculated on hour basis. So workload is not reduced if my classes per week are reduced from 5 to 4 if they were of 45 minutes. So ensure that for simplicity, our workload is always of 1 hour for every, make it uniform. And suppose I have got 3 hours of, you can say learning. On 3 days, each 1 hour, I have got class as per my scheme and timetable. It means I am conducting 3 hours of learning per week. There are 15 weeks in a semester. So I am conducting 15 into 3, that is 45 learning hours. And 45 divided by 15, again it comes to 3. So generally, whatever hours of classes we conduct in a week, that becomes so many credit courses. So if I have got 3 hours of theory class for my student in a week, so it is a 3 credit course. If I have got 2 hours of practical per week, then it is a 1 credit practical course. If my practical hours are 4 hours a week, then it is a 2 credit practical work. And if I have got 4 hours of theory or tutorial class, I will say that it is a 4 credit course. So like that, courses are converted into credit courses depending upon weekly learning hours. And again, I reiterate, ensure that our scheme is not of less than 600 learning hours for a semester. Everybody in the India, which is aligned with global standard, will have this as a common framework. So whether you are autonomous, whether you are affiliated, whether you are university, whether you are private university, irrespective of that, whether you are located in Amravati or whether you are located in Delhi, everybody will have to follow same credit framework. So this is about credit framework. So if any doubt for a minute or so, if anybody has got any doubt about credit and how to earn credit, from where credit will be given, how you can say notional hours are related with credit, we will have 2 minutes for any query, if at all. Ankit, if anybody has got any query, please let them ask.
Am I audible? My question is, generally we used to have the vocational or the professional courses, which used to have the less than 36 hours. So these courses obviously is not able to get converted into the credit system. Is it so?
No, why not? Even 15 hours learning is there in a semester for a certain course. It will be a 1 credit course. Why not? If it is 30 hours, it will be 2 credit course. Why even 36 hours of learning? Why it will go best? 30 hours, 36 hours in a semester, sir, you are talking about, na?
Yeah. No, but
No,
if we conduct the professional or vocational courses for a short period of time, for 8 days, 8
Yes.
days and 8 hours a day.
Yes.
Then 8 multiplied by 8, what we can say, 3 days or mainly 3 or 5 days, then obviously it comes out around 24 to 30 hours.
Yes.
So such type of courses can we able to convert into credit system?
Yes, very much you can convert it, sir. You can convert it. It is about notional hours only thing. Ensure that you put learning outcomes before starting the course, very clearly specifying. And at the end of the course, get is evaluated or assessed from some competent authority, and ensure that your learning outcomes are attained by the learner. Those who attend it, suppose I attend a course but do not appear for assessment, I will get 0 credit.
Okay.
So assessment is integral part of awarding, but your main question, can 30-hour short-term course will enable students to earn credit? Answer is yes.
Okay. But if the students are not, yes, but if the students are not interested in credit, so can we offer the course and give the certification with competent authority?
See, when you are giving certification with by assessment by competent authority, automatically you have to submit in academic bank of credit the credits. Whether the student wants to avail or not, it will remain in his bank.
Okay.
Ultimately, that credits will be deposited in bank.
Okay.
And he can utilize those credits for particular level. Suppose you are taking it as for level 4.5. So later on, those balance credit he can utilize for getting certificate. If the course is of second year level 5, he can get it some diploma. He can utilize those earned credit for getting diploma. If it is of course is of level 5.5, he can utilize those credit to get degree later on also.
Okay, so automatically it gets stored up. It's on him whether to utilize or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you. Arre Babre. Dinesh sir is there. He is, sir, you can deliver the good lecture rather than me. Please. Dinesh sir has got certain.
Sir, whatever discussion was going on right now, I think this should not lead to some misconceptions whether the credits or courses proposed by any institution will be there in the academic bank of credits, because this will be a system wherein those agencies which are awarding the degrees or awarding the credits needs to be validated by the government. So if any college is proposing such kind of course and giving certifications to the students, this may not be there in their academic bank of credit. So we need to clarify that those courses should be validated or should be authorized by the university system. So
Sir, in
as
the
it will be
first,
entered into the ABC.
very right, sir. In the first part of our session, I have told any course which any individual or college wants to offer, they should get it approved from university, BOS, faculty, academic council. They can do it under vocational skills or SEC skill enhancement component, or they can go for Swayam Plus, or they can go for any sector skill councils, because those are all authorized and competent people to assess. So if university assess your course, if sector skill council assess your course, or if Swayam Plus assess your course, in that case, assessment by these three agencies will enable student to earn credit and it will get deposited in the academic bank. Other
Yes.
than that, college taking and college, that I have, you can say very well, you can say explain to everybody that only college running certain course, college assessing will not enable a student to earn credit. It has to be through competent authority like university, sector skill council, or Swayam. These are the three, or NTA, National Testing Agency. Presently, these are the four authorities as competent authority, as my knowledge.
Sir, one more thing, being the advisor of our university, I'd like to suggest one thing, that why our university is not opening these doors to the teachers, that they'll ask for the courses and those courses will be submitted to the boards. Because right now what we did, we have restricted the general open elective courses GOAC to number 2, SSC to number 1. So these kind of restrictions on the GOACs or SECs or VECs will not allow any teacher to propose his or own courses to the university. So this should be the open door for all the teachers and colleges to suggest or to propose the courses to the university. Right now, there is no such kind of system wherein teachers can propose the course or any college can propose the course independently.
Very
So
true,
this
sir.
should be the initiative taken by university itself.
Sir, it is an initial phase of implementation of NEP in universities. You may be knowing even Maharashtra government is thinking of starting Mahaswayam, just like Swayam. So even state government is coming out. Slowly you will find that university will also come out with open courses, and later on they will even permit individual institutions, whatever is their strength, to offer. Presently, even in open elective, they will be able to. Slowly that thing will come. We are in the phase of transition from a very rigid system, so that anarchy situation should not happen. It should not become very random, because everybody is in, truly speaking, learning mode. So they are cautious. It is an institution. University is an institution. Its credibility and reputation should not get disturbed. But if I see 4-5 years down the line, I feel there will be a mechanism wherein any expert will be able to give his knowledge. Say, for one example I can quote, which I do not know whether write it or not. One professor of Sanskrit from Vani, he is coming out with very good courses in Sanskrit online. Probably they will not be far where his courses will be adopted and accepted by statutory bodies, and his courses may become one of the options to the student. But presently what you are saying is right. Cautious way, with a lot of care, anxiety is there, people are quite rigid. Under that, when initial phase is there, some restrictions will be there, because there has to be some monitoring system so that quality does not go down. So keeping view of quality and not making it as a complete market. So everybody is cautious about internship and such type of flexibility to be offered. All credits, it has to be with certain quality benchmark, it has to be done. So your anxiety is correct, but I think in due course of time, that freedom will come to institutions.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
So should we go ahead, sir? Sir, should we proceed?
Sir, I have one question in my mind, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I am able to get.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I am able to. Hello. Probably now I am not able to hear. Dinesh, sir, should we go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. If the teacher can ask later on also, because probably he has lost the link.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So after credit framework, now it is second framework is qualification framework. This I will request everybody to refer this very nice instrument UGC has published, from concepts to implementation, and handbook for national qualification frameworks developers. Now here, if we go through this booklet, we will be able to appreciate the type of globalization and alignment with global standard. All global level universities and educationists and experts were involved in framing this national qualification framework. Now, what is this qualification framework? The document talks about right from very basic thing like what is qualification, what are qualification descriptors, and what are qualifications with particular level. All these three questions are very nicely answered and explained in this document of National Qualification Framework. Every word, why national, what is qualification, what is this framework about. So as our traditional sense also says, qualification is something which gives states that someone has successfully completed a prescribed program of study or training offered by an educational institution. And these qualifications are formal awards, such as well-known, you can say nomenclatures are certificate, diploma, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate award. So here also, the concept of qualification in this framework is also the awards which are given by competent authority, very clearly mentioned. Here, such as college means autonomous college or university, in recognition of what? Attainment of student of the expected learning outcome on the successful completion of the program of study. Each word is important. They have mentioned when can this be awarded. They are to be awarded only after assessment and evaluation of learning level conducted by competent authority. See, sir, here the words are assessment. And by whom? By competent authority. And of what? Achievement by student of the expected learning outcome in the given course. So for a given level, there will be expected learning outcomes, and after learning, the student will have to go for assessment and evaluation conducted by some competent authority. When all these steps are completed, then only credit and certifications can be given. So they are aligned with academic credit system based on attainment of defined learning outcome, academic workload of student to complete the program. So it is about the competency which will enable student to go for practice also, occupational. Now this is about qualification. Very clearly the concept of qualification is maintained. So just to summarize, qualification is some award given to the student linked with credit. But when learning hours for a given duration of that program is completed, number two, the learning outcomes are attained, and attainment of learning outcome is done by some competent authority. Now, who can be competent authority? Over the period, government and our statutory bodies will come out with permissible competent authority. Presently, university and sector skill councils and SWAYAM, these are definitely three competent authorities who can evaluate, assess, and their evaluation and assessment has to be accepted by everybody. So this is about the first word, qualification. Second word is framework, qualification framework. What does it say? It is a way of structuring existing and new qualification. Existing and new. So existing are already taken care of, and provision for accepting new qualifications, if at all later on comes, such as fellowship, etc. There is scope for including those also. Now, what are those qualifications? Defined by learning outcome, reflecting graduate attributes, program learning outcome, course learning outcome. So these all statements, what a learner is expected to know, understand, able to do, demonstrate, has to be assessed. It has to be ascertained. Then that qualification will be given, and it will be aligned in a pyramidal way. It will be structured in a proper pyramid. Now, for that, what is important? Specifications are very important. Now, what are those specifications attached with each qualification? They will be the statement of achievement of learner awarded for a qualification. So when all education system is going for level based, say 4.5 is certificate. So with that, there will be some statements. Those statements will be for all three domains. So there are 5 statements. We will just know after few minutes. And we have to ensure that students have complied a given learning hour, notional hour, and he has attained the learning outcomes, which are very clearly specified in the form of statement, and those attainment of those attributes have to be ensured in assessment by the competent authority. Now everything talks about how we should set the paper depending upon the level, how you will have to map your question paper, each question, that how it is mapping with which descriptor of that qualification. So that point of view will completely enable us to give a qualification, and the qualification will be fitted into that framework. Now here, the framework is, pyramid is certificate at the bottom, then diploma, then bachelor's degree, then master's degree, and then finally doctoral degree. So it is the competency-based education and training and outcome-based learning that constitute important aspects of qualification framework. So for qualification, credits have to be earned. To earn the credit, one has to prove its competency if it is training and outcome-based learning. So unless outcome-based learning attainment and competency achievement are shown, you cannot get credit. Unless credits are earned, you cannot get qualification. Now this credits and qualifications will be judged in 3 domains: knowledge, skills, values, and attitude possessed by individual are important than mode of acquiring them. This is a very revolutionary statement given in this policy. Mode of acquiring this attribute is not important. So let it be online mode, offline mode. Let it be formal mode, informal mode. Let it be regular face-to-face, or let it be experientially. Mode through which a student acquires this attribute is made redundant. That is why स्वयं भी चलता है, कहीं जाके experience लिया, कुछ इंटर्नशिप किया वो भी चलता है, क्लासरूम में बैठ के पढ़ा तो भी चलता है. So mode of acquiring is not important. Learning attainment of outcome is considered and competency. So we are moving everything towards competency based education. That is the mandate of this qualification framework. Now our national qualifications, now third word, there are three words. One is national, second is qualification, and third one is framework. We have understood qualification. We have understood framework. Important is national qualification framework. When word national comes, obviously it gets related with international. So the Bologna process is the framework under European higher education area. And their European Union countries qualification framework is considered as most appropriate as of today. And India has aligned its qualification framework with the Bologna framework, and they are known as Dublin descriptors. So what are these Dublin descriptors? They are qualification descriptors of European countries. They are the general statement about learning outcomes that are to be achieved by students after completing a curriculum of studies and obtaining a qualification. So let us quickly go through this qualification. So it is a instrument of class.
हे आपलं कमवार्षिका योजना आहे की नाही बसलेली लायब्ररी आतमध्ये तो आदित्य दादा आहे त्याला म्हणा अर्ज सरांनी पाठवलं म्हणे मला नाव आलं म्हणे माझे 15 विद्यार्थी पाहिलं का तुम्ही
हो सर मी आताच बघितलं ग्रुपवरून आले बरं ठीक आहे
मॅथवाला जी टाकतो मी आता
थँक्यू
Okay, so I think some urgent work was there or one of the participants. So now in India, see how many types of qualifications framework are already framed and finally they are converted into National Higher Education Qualification Framework NHEQF. Why it is important for us to understand all these qualification framework? Because they are interconnected, interrelated, and the student from a particular level of particular qualification framework can enter into other framework, or one can take exit from one framework and enter into another framework. So common before 2014, we already had National Vocational Qualification Framework, VET and NVQF. Those were already existing as per International Labour Organization, and India started the process of aligning its qualification framework with international level through VET and NVQF. After accepting our national education policy, NSQF and NHEQF came into existence. So here we should understand there are VET, there is NVQF, there is NVEQF, there is NSQF, and finally for us NHEQF. It is alignment of our descriptors with international descriptors. So we will just understand few of the descriptors of NSQF and then understand NHEQF. This national skills qualification framework has to be further, you can say, modified as per NEP vision document. So Indian standards will be aligned with international standard of classification of occupation maintained by international level organization. Why I am showing this specific statement of NEP vision statement? Because as I was saying, our journey is local to national, national to global. So it is a journey of local to global through national. That is why these qualification frameworks are also considered internationally and they are brought to be suitable for Indian situation. One more thing, equity and access. So purpose of bringing this qualification framework is to reintegrate the dropouts of the formal education system with relevance practical experience. So you will find there is something new term, recognition of prior learning. In recent UGC document, they have specifically given RPL, recognition of prior learning, so that equity and access to those who are formal dropouts of formal education system are to be again reintegrate into our education system. That is the meaning of access and equity. So one new term everybody of us must know, that is recognition of, you can say, prior learning. And credit-based framework will also facilitate mobility across general education and vocational education. So integration of vocational education, technical education with academic or general education is through qualification framework. So multiple entry, multiple exit, you will find in qualification framework very clearly given who can enter into which level if he or she is getting exit from some other, you can say, type of education. So it is notified on 6 June 2023, and it incorporates the provision laid down by NEP as well as National Credit Framework. See, learning is to be linked with credit, and it is to be, you can say, mapped with level of learning and qualification. So NSQF has incorporated provisions of NCRF as well as NEP. NCRF means National Credit Framework. NEP means National Education Policy. Now, accordingly, after this, earlier there were 1 to 10 levels, but now NSQF, they have modified and they have brought 8 levels. Level 1 to 2.53 and 3.50. They are generally school level. Level 4 is equivalent to 12. And for we, the higher education sector, our level starts from 4.50. So we have level 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.57, and 8. And for each level, there will be minimum 5 qualification descriptors. This is what, and it will depend upon higher level, more and more complexity in terms of cognitive learning, skill learning, and behavior learning. That complexity will go on changing. So for each level represents different level of knowledge, different level of skill, different level of responsibility, different level of autonomy one can get to handle the situation, with different level of competency, with, you can say, commensurating with that level. Now, that type of framework is known as National Qualification Framework or NSQF. Now, this National Qualification Framework and NSQF, finally, it has led to National Higher Education Qualification. So what we in higher education sector will be following will be NHEQF. But to understand NHEQF, we must understand Bologna process, we must understand Dublin descriptor, we must understand 5 types of qualification framework already there. We must understand National Qualification Framework. We must understand National Skill Qualification Framework, published in a modified form in June 23. And once we have little bit background of this, we can understand now National Higher Education Qualification Framework. We at higher education level, all our syllabi, board of studies people, our examiners, our examination system, our assessment system will have to get aligned with the qualification descriptors given in NHEQF. Now, NHEQF will tell us levels corresponding to level map qualification and corresponding to qualification descriptors. So when we talk about NHEQF, we must know level, we must know corresponding qualification of that level, and we must know corresponding descriptors for that level and for that qualification. Understanding these 3 means understanding NHEQF. Say, for example, I talk about our 3 years degree program. So our what generally we used to call first year, having semester 1 and 2, now henceforth will be level 4.5, of course, after year, means after second semester. So if a student exit after first year, we will say that he has attained level 4.5 and we will issue undergraduate certificate. So for level 4.5, it will be program of 2 semesters means 1200 hours learning hours, and on exit, student will have to get 4 credit from skill enhancement courses such as skill councils or internship. So this means 40 credit in 2 semester plus 4 credit additional for internship or skill will entail the student who goes out of after first year as qualified for level 4.5 and we can issue certificate. Similar case for level 5 diploma. So 1, 2, 3, 4 semester, 1200 plus 1200, 2400 learning hours, and we can give diploma and then degree. Similarly, level 6, level 6.5, level 7, and level 8. So for each level, corresponding qualification is mapped and given in NHEQF. Important is to understand level, qualification, and corresponding to that level and qualification, the descriptors. Because we are giving certificate, we are giving diploma, or whether we are giving degree, unless it is mapped with descriptors, tomorrow at national level, all certificates, course content of certificate, diploma or degree, and our examination systems may get mapped. We will have to prove that when we give degree, when we say our level is 5.5, we have to show, prove, demonstrate that our level 5.5 or our degree satisfy the attributes or descriptors expected at that qualification level. So it is very important for all of us to understand the descriptors. Now, as I was saying, each level is related with learning outcome of that level. Each level is structured based on defined learning outcome. And what are these learning outcome? They are the statements. What the learner is expected to know, understand, able to do on successful completion of that duration of that program at that specific level. So students should be able to demonstrate those attributes in terms of expected learning outcome. Now again, whether acquired through any mode, such as direct in-face, face-to-face, open, distance, online, hybrid, blended, mode of learning is not important. Attainment of the descriptors is important. So these descriptors, you will find they are based on 3 domains: cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. This we have seen in our first part of our session. Now, these level descriptors are 5 outcome statements. Now, Bologna process or doubling descriptor, they were also on 5 statements. Our NHEQF and NSQF descriptors are also in terms of 5 outcome statement. Now, these 5 outcome statement on 3 domains of knowledge, skill, and behavior are process, professional knowledge, professional skills, core skills, mindsets of skill, employment readiness, entrepreneur skill, and level of responsibility. So level of responsibility, a certificate holder, and level of responsibility for degree certificate holder, they are different because their levels are different. Now these descriptors, they represent the increasing levels of complexity in terms of knowledge, competency, autonomy that must be demonstrated by the learner. Say if I take cognitive professional knowledge, so for depending upon each level, we will see the descriptors also. But what is expected is if I take this knowledge, professional knowledge as the descriptor pointer, then it is what a learner should know and understand with reference to subject or field of knowledge. It is described in terms of depth, breadth, kind of knowledge and complexity. Very clearly, certificate level courses, we can understand what should be the depth and breadth of that knowledge. While 6.5 or 6 level same course. We can suppose there is physics in first year, there is physics in final year. We can understand what is expected in terms of descriptor for certificate level, that is 4.5, and what is expected at 5.5. So when we frame the syllabus, we have to keep in mind the descriptors given, which are mandatory. Throughout country, everybody will have to follow this. Nobody will be spared for following this. This is the common framework given now. Then depth of knowledge can be general, specialized. Breadth of knowledge can range from single topic to multidisciplinary. Kind of knowledge can be concrete to abstract. And complexity will be combination of kind, depth, and breadth of knowledge. Now, if I talk about professional skill, that is psychomotor skill domain, what a learner should be able to do. At certificate level, what we are expecting the student to do, able to do at diploma, at degree, as well as postgraduate. So this has to be very clearly defined, and guideline for the description is already given to us. Say in case of professional skill, it is expected cognitive and creative skills involving use of intuitive, logical, critical thinking, communication skill involving written, oral, literacy, and numeracy skill, interpersonal skill, generic skills, core skills, such as basic skills, that dexterity and use of method, material, tool, instrument for performing job, information technology skill needed for a given level of study and work. So certificate level core skill requirement may be different than diploma. The type of IT skills expected in a certificate, type of using or selecting a right tool and utilizing it at certificate level, where a person can become at the most supervisor, will be altogether different than degree, where a person can become a manager. So it has to be very clearly defined. Then finally is the level of responsibility. To what degree of supervision person needs when doing a job? We are preparing a student for their job role. If he is a certificate level, probably he may be held responsible for his own work, or at the most for 2-3 persons who is working with him as a colleague. But if a person becomes graduate, then he will not be responsible only for his own job, but for the job of whole team. If he becomes further postgraduate scientist or CEO, he will not be only responsible for his work, but for number of persons working under him as in the capacity of CEO. So degree of supervision, a person is capable of exercising over others. That is the level at which learner can supervise others. So this has to be understood even in co-curricular courses, in NSS, in NCC, in sports. So rubrics will have to be defined to understand whether a student can take a responsibility or he is only listener and he is only a follower, or can he lead the things. So those NEP will come in picture, because every vertical of NEP including co-curricular activities, IKS, everywhere we will have to determine this fifth descriptor also. It determines the nature of working relationship, level of responsibility for self and others, managing the change, and accountability of action. So on these 5 parameters and 3 domains, qualification descriptors are given in NHEQF, and same descriptors are to be used for our particular program, keeping the spirit of level-wise descriptor given in NHQF same throughout the country in all institutions. That is how will be the bringing commonality through this qualification framework. Say for example, I will give you just 1 or 2 examples because we have to keep some time for question answer. So at the end of first year, what is expected? So at the end of first year means we will be calling it NHEQF level 4.5 or NSQF level 4.5. If the student exit from the program, we are going to give certificate after earning 40 credits plus 4 credit internship or skill course. But What is the qualification descriptor for that level? It is the knowledge of fact, principle, process, and concepts in field of work or study. Cognitive or practical skills required to complete the task assigned. Solve the problem by selecting and applying basic methods. So that is what is expected at certificate level. So basic tools, basic material, information. So get, set, go. Teacher is telling he is able to perform anytime and competency in performing. He can be a very good skilled person if he is a certificate person. Core skills, some mathematical skills if applicable, collecting and organizing information, little bit communication skill. This is what is expected at certificate level. So our courses, our assessment should be directed, should be focused against this, you can say, expectation. These are the outcome expected. At certificate level, our students should be able to work in a familiar situation, but also where problem may arise. Job holders will be able to make choices about best procedures to adopt to address problem where choices are clear. Job holders will be responsible for completion of their own work as well as expected to learn and improve their performance on the job. So lifelong learning attitude has to be ensured. They will require well-developed practical and cognitive skill to complete the work. And they will have to be able to some responsibility for other work. So own work and little bit responsibility of other work. So the person at certificate level can be called as fully skilled worker or at the most supervisor. So attributes of fully skilled worker or a supervisor are expected to be imbibed, to be tested, evaluated, and ascertained when we give the, you can say, curriculum for 4.5 level, first year level, and we set our examination evaluation. So we have to keep this in mind when we do for level 4.5, that is first year, what we call. When the student enters second year, at the end of second year, we will be giving diploma. So what is expected? More complexity, more clarity, some advancement. So you will find, I will not read it, but this is very clearly given in NHEQF. So this is what he should be able to job expected, communicate clearly in speaking, writing, and required to apply mathematical processes. The student should be able to collect and organize information, solve by selecting and applying methods, tools, material. So these are the expected learning outcome of second year, what we call it diploma. Similarly, level 5.5, what we call it degree. After end of level 5.5, we will be giving degree. The student have undergone 3,600 hours learning, notional learning hours. He has earned 120 credits. He has undergone internship. And what is expected? Now here you will find the word command and proficiency. Broad range of theoretical and practical and specialized. Routine, non-routine context. Factual and theoretical knowledge. Wide range of now depth and breadth. You will find go on increasing, and student is required to find solutions. Presentation skills, logical mathematical skills. So expectations of level 5.5 will standard, non-standard practices. So everything is very clearly what is expected in, you can say, at level 5.5. Now going to directly NHEQF document for each level and each domain, very clearly, you can say, demarcation of expectations in demonstrating the abilities or attributes is given. I have given it in one chart. Suppose domain is of knowledge. What is expected in level certificate, level diploma, and level degree? Very clearly you will find the difference. Accordingly, when we set the syllabus, when I impart the syllabus, when I evaluate the outcome, I have to keep in mind whether I am teaching and my learner are of which level. If they are of 4.5 level, my content should be accordingly what are the descriptors given. If the student is of degree, third year, what we call level 5.5, according to breadth and depth and complexity of my subject should increase. Similarly, my assessment will also change, whether it is laboratory or theory or CO or any of the vertical of NEP. I have to keep level in mind while framing or delivering the content, assessing or evaluating the outcomes. This is what is very clearly for each domain. This is for knowledge domain. This is for skilling domain, application of knowledge. You will find for level 4.5 certificate, expected acquisition and demonstration is different than expected acquisition and demonstration for level 5.5. If his skills required to perform and accomplish tasks, we will have to demonstrate, we will have to prove that our system of implementing NEP is in align with these descriptors given in NHEQF. Employment ready skill, entrepreneurship skills, mindset, ability to constitutional human values or you can say dispositions with ethics and values. For certificate level, he should understand what is the value system of the organization, he should follow. But if he is a degree holder, he should be able to formulate the value system. He should be able to inculcate the value system. Expectations are altogether different, and our assessment rubrics should be able to map. Sir, our first year rubrics for this is we will just confirm the student undergoes the adoption of value system, while for my final year in project, in seminar, in whatever activity, in my class test, in my laboratory, a student is able to not only get for himself, but he is able to inculcate in the team. He is able to create new values, handling animals, or you can say secrecy of the work, loyalty to the work. So all those things we should be able to demonstrate that our students have acquired those qualities. Then only when we will be assessed. So tomorrow's accreditation process, tomorrow's you can say when National Higher Education Regularity Authority will come into existence. So our regularity authorities will ask us to demonstrate or prove that our system is NHEQF compliant, means our let it be syllabus, let it be delivery of syllabus, let it be evaluation of our outcomes. Everywhere, depending upon level, they are compliant. This is what we will have to prove. Then we will say that degree or credits earned by a student in X university are equivalent to credits earned by other degrees. So certificate first year done in one institute, is he eligible to get admitted in another university, second institute? Probably. That time descriptors, credits, learning hours, question papers, level of Bloom's taxonomy, those will be probably the parameters on which it will be decided. Else, degree of one university may come out to be equivalent to diploma of other university. So accountability part may come in coming few years, and base for that accountability will be credit framework and qualification framework and its descriptors. Now coming to last part, you will find now considering credit, qualification descriptors, levels and certifications, awards. The verticals of NEP takes care of all these three domains and all those expected outcome from the education system. That is why major minor comes into picture, because one subject where breadth and depth will be more, while there will be reasonable knowledge and skill for some other subject, so that flexibility has to be there. Courses on IKS, courses on internship, experiential learning, field learning is must. Second domain, psychomotor domain. Vocational skill enhancement, again psychomotor domain. equal to general education component, academic education component, you will find equal weightage is given for vocational. So integration of vocational and experiential learning into academic education. Along with that, value education system is also vertical. So all three domains are there. I will just introduce curriculum framework and we will stop because we need some 10 minutes at least for our interaction if required. So please, everybody of us should go through LOCF, that is Learning Outcome Based Curriculum Framework. Now another framework, credit framework, qualification framework, and curriculum framework. Those frameworks are common for everybody and everybody has to fit into this framework. This curriculum framework talks about outcome-based curriculum. So outcome-based is the target of, that is why they talk about first right. What are your expected learning outcome? You measure attainment of whatever you want student to have outcome. So here, this LOCF begins with program outcomes or graduate attributes. We know our NAC system and UGC has already given us this graduate attributes. Now they have to be suitably put up for our own program. Otherwise, those 12, 13 outcomes, program attributes or program outcome, POs, what we call in NAC, they are already given. And if you analyze it, you will find they are in three domains only. Either they fall under cognitive domain or psychomotor domain or affinitive domain. So all those 12, 14 are divided into, can be classified into three domains. Those are given, and for our own program, we have to keeping the same spirit, we have to write for our program. So any syllabus should have first a page as program outcome for that program. Second, program educational objective. So they are generally what a student will be doing after 3-4 years of getting that qualification. Say, suppose my student is in final year of graduation, then the student can go to postgraduate, he can go for some research after postgraduate, he can go for some industry, he can go for trade, he can go for commerce. So we have to identify what are the possible, you can say, forecast, or what are the possibilities where opportunities will be there and my graduate will be going into profession or sector of economy after getting graduated from there. And what skill set, what knowledge, what type of behavior will be expected when he goes into those spheres. So 2-3 areas we have to identify, and we have to prepare our program educational objectives so that student is prepared to for, you can say, getting happy life, doing the job role comfortably wherever he will be put after 2-3 years. So you will find program educational objectives, samples are also given. 3-4 objectives, POs are to be given, but they are futuristic. So we have to identify where my graduate can go. And that is the mandate of NEP. Prepare the student for their future job role. Next is program learning outcome or program specific outcome. So on line of POs only, we will be writing it. For every course, whatever is, suppose there are 6 courses in first semester, 6 courses in another semester. So for each course, we have to write, depending upon Bloom's taxonomy level, we know that remembering is not expected level unless it is altogether new subject. I will not say it outrightly, I am not rejecting it, but CO of my, at the end of my learning this course, student will be able to recite, will be state certain law. Such type of outcome should be minimized. More outcome should be on understanding if it is certificate level, applying if it is certificate level. But analyze, creation, as the level goes on, our expected course outcome, course learning outcome should change and it will depend upon the level for which that course is offered. They should be very well defined. University is expected to give 4-5 course outcome for every course, but that doesn't mean we at a college level cannot add any 1 or 2 more COs. I am sure NAC will appreciate if we are able to add 1 or 2 CO. Problem is not adding CO. Problem is assessing and ensuring demonstratively attainment of those CO levels. So this is how LOCA based syllabus should come. It should have PO first, PO then, PLO then, COs then, and then your you can say detailed syllabus. Last plan in curriculum planning, please check whether your program is UG or PG. If UG, see whether it is type A, B, or C, that is whether it is monodiscipline, BSc in chemistry or BSc BA in history, or multidisciplinary, say BSc science with one of the chemistry as major subject, or BA general with history as one of the major subject. Which type of program we are offering, that should be very clear. In Maharashtra, they are expecting multidisciplinary program, not monodisciplinary program. So, so in some cases, there it will be monodisciplinary surely. We cannot say all programs can become multidisciplinary. There will be BCA, Bachelor in Computer Application, bachelors in journalism, so they are monodiscipline. But BSc, BA, BCom could be monodiscipline or multidiscipline. And third is interdisciplinary program. So we should be very clear what is our type of program. Then next state the program outcome. Take help of a UGC or NAC document where very clearly those outcomes are given, graduate attribute. Only in their own words, we have to add what program we are using, that word has to be. Then state program learning outcome, program specific outcome. Then for each course, write CO and CLO. Say, for example, I am talking about BSc chemistry, monodisciplinary. So I am writing POs first, disciplinary knowledge and skills, what is expected. So he has to be a critical thinker. These are all POs given in UGC and you can say NAC also. Then we will go, he will be able to demonstrate. So PLOs, field of chemistry, analytical, he may go to analytical, inorganic, organic, physical. So we are talking about when the student gets graduated in BSc in chemistry, these are the fields of chemistry for which we are preparing it. And relevant field may be pharmaceutical, chemical, teaching, research, environment. We need not write everything. Depending upon our university, where our students are likely to go, we want to prepare. According to that, few of fields we can write. It's not necessary that all the fields, because our syllabus cannot prepare the student for all possible streams for the subject like chemistry. Then write down program specific of outcome. Then these are the PSOs for BSc in chemistry. And then say COs or CLOs. I have taken one example of inorganic chemistry, coordination chemistry. So level 5, semester 4, it is a core course. And after learning the course, student will be able to recognize, describe, explain. So such type of words have to be used, memorize, state, avoid such type of verbs which are there for level 1. So probably with the time given, I tried to cover. I know I did not do full justice, but my sincere thanks to all learned audience. It is not an ordinary college, it is Shivaji Science College with potential of excellence and A+ grade. So all of you are highly learned. Many of the things you may already be knowing, but as a part of my duty, I tried to cover the thing. So sincere thanks to all audience, Dinesh sir. Sincere thanks to Ankit, he helps me a lot. Sincere thanks to Pro Vice Chancellor, Registrar, the Chancellor, and Dr. Atik sir. Big thank you to all. If any questions, we can take up the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such a wonderful and insightful session. We are really thankful to you, sir. Participants, the forum is open for now discussion. Queries are the question. If you have any kind of queries or the question, or you have some kind of suggestions or observations with regards to implementation of this national education policy or this session, you can note down here, please, anyone.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Please, sir,
Yes.
please.
Sir, you have mentioned about the batch of the student. How much student will be there in a batch of so practical as far as
Sir, that
physics or
is a
chemistry?
sort of more, I am not competent to really answer this question because workload and those things come into picture. So probably either Dinesh sir can answer it more appropriately, or it will completely depend upon the government circulars or something. So what will be the batch size? I cannot immediately, because I am not competent, and if I put it on this platform, it may be taken in a right, may not be taken in a right way. That is why even though I have got idea, I am not spelling it out because very critical questions are you have asked. So I fully appreciate it, but it depends upon the teacher's workload. It depends upon number of faculty required. So many things, complications will come if I answer it right now. In private, I can give you what comes to my knowledge through various sources. But Dinesh sir is maybe knowing much more than what I know for this
Sir,
particular.
you have given perfect answers,
Yeah.
sir. Right now, we cannot say anything regarding the
Anything is
policies.
it will be too, you can say, courageous to answer this question in number right now. I can tell you, sir, what is expected in a, you can say, experimental, whatever may be the batch size. Number one, it has to be an individual specific now. Earlier, we used to address a group of students, but over the period, everything suitable individual is the long-term goal of NEP. What is suitable for individual? So imagine to what extent things may change. Second thing, it will be related to level. Your first year, first, second semester practicals, the way we conduct, the way we get set go, what we expect from first year student in their hands-on will be altogether different than final year. Say, for example, in first year, you may show them ammeter, voltmeter, wire, connections, how it is to be done, what changes, then what effect you change, and you may inquire, and we may expect that students are very competent to handle the instrument given to them, explained to them, trained to them, and anytime, anywhere, at any place they can use it. That is what is the competency expected in first year. But same student, when they will come to final year, probably you will not give any one experimental number one to determine this. That type of statement will not be there. You will provide them with some problem statement. You will tell these are the things available in the lab. Select whatever you want. See whether available are sufficient or not. They may write with present instrument we cannot do. Let them find out. Some student will come out, sir, even though it was not there, I used certain technique and I got the data. So they will have to design experiment in a group or individual. They will have to come know which is the best way of selecting the instrument for a given problem, in what is the best way of conducting the experiment to get the required data, what is the data I need to solve the problem, and it will be expected that they come out with the solution of a problem rather than giving a designed experiment and to prove the Newton's law. For first year, probably it will be there. Final year, people will say, after Newton 300 years, you are again proving the same law, not accepted. So this is what learning outcomes will differ. Accordingly, your labs need not be lab will be conducted only in your laboratory. Your student may have to go to some other lab to find the solution you have provided. You will be facilitator to help them to find the solution. This will be the big change, and then you can prove that it demonstrates that my students are able to select the right instrument. they know what are various instruments available. Out of that, for measuring current only, ammeter is not the only way. I can measure ammeter. There are so many ways of measuring one parameter. Thermometer, it's not necessary that I only take mercury thermometer and measure. So there are ways and means of measuring. So even though thermometer was not there, I have taken this methodology. I have taken acetone. If it is boiling, I will say that, okay, it has achieved temperature of 45 without measuring. If it is water is boiling, I will say that temperature is above 100 without thermometer. But I know ways of measuring temperature, measuring any other parameter, and utilizing, selecting the proper instrument, connecting them to get desired my data, and using whatever data I have generated to solve certain problem given to me. So this will be the approach by the time student come to level 5.5 or 6. This is what I understand when I go for this qualification framework, sir.
Yes, any other queries or the questions? Please, anyone. Sir, I think there is no more queries or the
Yes,
questions.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
please,
yes,
sir,
Swapnil
sir.
sir. Yes, yes. Swapnil sir was my colleague also.
You have mentioned about
Yeah,
fully.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you have mentioned fully skilled workers or supervisors. There
Yes,
is
sir.
one mention in your.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Certificate level. Yeah.
Okay. It is about certificate level.
Yes, that is certificate level. See, it is from NSQF, skill qualification. So more applicable to say technical education or polytechnic. What is expected when a student goes from engineering college after first year, say, or when he comes out of diploma institution as a diploma holder? What is expected? He should be a full skilled worker or a supervisor level. But that will not be applicable for diploma second year. It will not be applicable for third year BO, or it will not be applicable for fourth year B. As it goes up, he is not expected to be only supervisor. By the time he may be manager.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, anyone else? Sir, I think there is no more queries or the questions. So if you could permit, shall we sum up, sir?
Yes, sir. Let me express my deep sense of gratitude for all learned people. Dinesh sir is there, Swapnil sir. I find very learned professors are in this. I do not know whether I came up to their expectation, but I enjoyed and I am thankful to them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. On behalf of the Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, and Shri Shivaji Science College, Amravati, I express my deep sense of gratitude towards Professor Marathe sir for being with us, enlighten us, and sparing his precious time towards implementation of this national education policy and building the capacity of our faculty members throughout the sessions. Sir, we are really thankful to you because you have given a clear-cut roadmap and minute understanding of this national education policy and how we should implement it through our HEIs, and we should contribute to the society ultimately and build a national development agenda. So I really thankful to you for this session. On behalf of MMTTC and Shri Shivaji Science College of Amravati, I again extend my sincere thanks to you, and with the kind consent of Professor Marathe sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone, participants, for their patience listening and active participation during the sessions. We will expecting like such kind of interaction during the sessions, because these programs are designed particular for the interaction of the participants, not only for delivering the sessions, but the interactions and the questions, whatever maybe you have brought here. We are really thankful to everyone and hope so you are enjoying the learning. Friends, we will meet tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Sir, attendance sheet is there?
No, sir. There is no attendance because whatever maybe the sessions you have joining, your sessions will attendance will be recorded automatically, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.